Hello and welcome to a very special DLC episode of Gamesoverplastic. This is the first of what will be a weekly series in which Hodge and I are going to be recapping The Last of Us Season 2. Obviously, we're going to be starting with Episode 1, which aired last night, precisely 9 o'clock Eastern. But before we do that, you can follow us on all the podcast services of your choice. You can like us on YouTube, leave us a comment, leave us a review. Really, just tell us how you're feeling. Tell us what you think of the episodes as well. We'd love to get some feedback from the audience on how if they're enjoying or if they're absolutely hating The Last of Us season 2. It's really up to you, but we want all the feedback we can get. All right, Hodge, before we jump into the episode, initial thoughts. What did you think of episode 1?
So I was thinking we probably should just kind of talk about the show itself, and then maybe near the end we can kind of do the game comparison thing, because obviously
That's fine.
they're two different things. Yeah. So as for the episode just on its own, I actually did quite enjoy it. Though I will say I did find Dina very annoying. I didn't like her in the game, so I don't really like her in this either. And then obviously Bella Ramsey as Ellie's always been a whatever. But the overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked that they expanded kind of on the leading into the game, like just how they did with the first season, where they really expanded on Sarah and they had way more about her and day one of the outbreak and stuff. So I really like that they're doing that in this season too, of not jumping straight into, I mean, granted, most of the stuff that they did is in the game. It's just, it was flashbacks later on in the game rather than the start of the game. So I think, which was my biggest complaint with the game, is the pacing. So I think it seems like they're doing a pretty good job of improving the pacing out the gate. And then obviously we'll get to some plot points when we get to them. But yeah, overall, I'm enjoying it. And Caitlin Denver as Abby and what little we got to see of her, I enjoyed her as well. So I'm hoping that I actually like Abby in this show, because I did not like her in the game at all. So I'm hoping she becomes a little more of a sympathetic character for me in this one.
Yeah, I think so far I really enjoyed the first episode. I totally agree with you. I love how they're kind of expanding, like Jackson and like the whole settlement area. Like we even get like the therapy scene. Like I thought that was awesome. I thought it was such a cool thing because that's not in the game.
And Catherine O'Hara.
I really like. Yeah, I liked your the casting choice of Abby. I think opening it up with what they opened up with was interesting, very different of a choice. But I actually think for the TV show, coming from a TV show angle, I think it will make more sense. And I think it might hit harder. And I think maybe Neil Druckmann, of course, has learned from the response of the video game, opening it up that way compared to the way they opened up in the game. But I actually really enjoyed Dina as a character. I thought she was funny. I think the actress did a really good job portraying her. It's Isabel something. I can't remember her last name.
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember her last name. I think they've done this whole section in Wyoming, in Jackson. I think that they've totally expanded upon what they showed us in the episode that focused on that in the first season. I think this episode just reinforced me how much I think they nailed Tommy's character in this game. In the show, I think he does a great job portraying him. I loved the sniping scene at the beginning. It's like, oh, aim for their heads. It's almost like they're treating the infection like it's not even like a big deal. Oh, we're just gonna go for a sport. We're gonna shoot them out in the open field.
Yeah, I agree, but I disagree at the same. Like, I agree because obviously if it becomes a normal part of your life, it does become the monotony of like, oh, we're on another, what's it called? Where we're on another lookout, recon. Where we're going around looking, and recon. Yeah. Like, I get that it become the monotony of it. It's like, oh, there's another one. Let's take it out. But well, obviously we'll get through the show. But when Dina and Ellie were in the shop, they were treating it like it was literally nothing. When clickers are like the deadliest things in the game, other than probably like bloaters or whatever. But like, they treated it like it was nothing, and I was kind of rolling my eyes like, oh, it's that like awkward Marvel kind of writing of like, they're making light of a very like horrific situation, and it kind of felt off to me in that. But I do understand, especially like sniping when they're at a distance and they're not a danger, that it becomes a bit of more of the monotony of it, and you're like, yeah, let's just play, like it's kind of a play thing of like, yeah, let's just shoot these things. But I don't know, I can't
Yeah.
take it. Yeah.
Another initial thought I had is I think that the fear you saw in Ellie when she is actually, falls through that hole and then sees the new type of infected, where it kind of lures your opponent, lures you to.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the fear in Ellie, and I think that was the first time where she didn't come off as like a, oh my god, I'm better than everyone, I'm so much stronger than everyone. You could actually see the
Yeah.
fear in her, and they did make that like one change that we'll get into. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it, and I think we should hop into the episode now and just kind of go
Yeah.
beat by beat, tackle the main points here. So as you mentioned, we start off right away, and it starts off with the scene from the pretty much the last scene of season one, where basically Ellie asks Joel, like, "Is that really? Are you telling me the truth?" Basically, and Joel straight up says, "Yeah, of course." Now we all know
Mm-hmm.
he's lying,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then it flashes to Abby and the remaining Fireflies that kind of survived, and we see all those gravestones. I think that really was a great addition, seeing those gravestones. It kind of hits home that, like, oh my gosh, this is what Joel did. He massacred all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's not just like he massacred some random, like, random stranger. Like, yes, they're random strangers to him, but they are family to other people. They have people who care about them. It
Yeah. They're
reminded me
not. They're not
very,
like. Yeah, I was gonna say they're not like thieves out there who are just robbing and killing people. Like he went through a settlement and slaughtered them.
yeah. And people who were actually trying to do something for like the greater good. And
Yeah.
those people actually believed it. You get the initial look at the cast of all the characters that you'll come to know and love or hate in the upcoming episodes. We didn't get much, but I definitely agree. You could see the anger in Abby and the anger in her voice every time she spoke. They even made a reference like, "Oh, we need to kill Joel. Like, we're going to kill him. We have to."
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, "Whoa!" Like they're trying to convince her. Like, I don't know if we should do this. I don't know if this is the best decision we should do. But no, they were like, "No." She's like, "This is what we're doing," and you can see that vengeance has taken over her. That
Yeah.
need for revenge.
Yeah, and us who don't know, like obviously we know as we've played the game, but for those who are watching the show for the first time, you don't know why she's so much angrier than everyone. So that's one of the changes I did like about this, because when we meet Abby, I guess I could have to compare it to the game to say this. When we meet them in the game, we don't know who they are, we don't know why they're doing what they are, and it's like kind of, so I never feel for them in the game. Like I know a lot of people are like, I'm Team Abby, screw Ellie. Like I never felt that way. I never liked Abby. So introducing them like this of like, no, they're part of another settlement and they've been harmed by what Joel did. Like it makes them sympathetic out the gate. And so I really liked that part of it. And really quick, the girl who's going to be an Intergalactic and was in the Uncharted movie, she's one of the
Yes,
people in the
yeah.
crew. I noticed that.
She's also in the show You, which is interesting. That I
Oh, is
think
she?
of.
I only watched the
Yeah,
first season of you.
yeah. She's in season 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, one more thing that I think really hits home is right at the end of that Abby scene when she puts the necklace over the gravestone. They don't tell you
Hmm.
whose the gravestone is. Obviously, I think me and you, Hodge, we know.
Yeah.
But again, it really hits home, and then you kind of see the control she has over that group too. Like, we're gonna do this, and they're like, okay. They finally like, yeah, we will. I think it's funny that she mentions Joel's name, and they're like, well, do we really know it's Joel? We could say his name's Joe. Like, we don't really
Yeah, Joe
know.
or Joel, we don't know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're like denying, they don't want to believe that someone was immune. Like they don't want to believe it. Because like we don't even know that's
Yeah.
true. That's not true. Um
Yeah.
but I think it's beyond that point for Abby, as we noted. It's more of like we need to take revenge for this. And they do mention Seattle. Um
Hmm. Yeah, because did they in the game? Did they mention like why they were in Seattle, or like because they just kind of were? So I don't.
no,
I
they
can't
don't
remember.
mention why they're in Seattle. It just kind of opens up like when you get to that part of the game, it kind of opens up and you're in Seattle. You get
Yeah.
like you don't get like a you kind of they kind of allude to the fact that like they kind of like wandered there and they had some idea that there was a settlement there, but they were just taken
Okay.
in. But in this, they kind of provide a little bit more backstory. Like, oh, we have connections there. They're like, we can go there. They might have resources for us.
Okay. I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it flashes 5 years forward, and we're getting to an immediate scene of Ellie, wrestling and fighting this guy. At first, I'm like, what is going on right here? I thought she was
Yeah.
like legitimately like fighting like someone who was trying to like steal stuff or like scavenge or something.
Yeah. This is right out the gate where I'm just like, I don't believe Bella Ramsey is Ellie, because she beats up this guy who's like 6'3", muscular, and I'm like, and then at the end she's like, don't pull punches, but the guy's like, if he had gone harder, you would have been knocked unconscious, and she was like, I don't
Yeah.
care, don't
Oh, that's
pull.
what.
It's
Yeah,
like,
Jesse says that. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like, yeah, but you would have lost immediately if he didn't pull his punches. Like, I understand you're like, I just don't see her as this tough person, and I know what's going to happen in this season of why she needs to be the tough person, but I'm like, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, that's like yeah, I definitely agree. I thought it was a little weird. I am not as harsh on her as you are, but I do not like her as Ellie. I don't think she does a great job. I think maybe moving on as the season goes on, maybe we'll see that little bit of a character growth in her, and maybe we'll see her come into her own. But yeah, it's really tough for me to see her portraying Ellie, especially because it's 5 years later, and she looks like she's aged about a year, not five
Yeah,
years.
which is
Whereas
basically what it is.
yeah, whereas every other character it looks like they've aged 5 years. Like Joel
Mhm.
looks like he's aged about 5 to 10 years. You get the gray. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And then we get that, and then um, what do you want? What do you want to jump to next?
Well, next up, it just kind of pans out to show that they're in Jackson, because obviously
Jackson, yeah,
the scene was set up to be like, oh, she's out in trouble or something, but then obviously it's just training exercise, yada yada. So she goes out into the town, and then there's a guy who's working on the plumbing, and they crack open the pipe, and you see a bunch of roots, which immediately I knew those aren't just roots, but obviously
yeah,
that's later in the episode. But so it cuts to that just kind of as the little foreshadowing thing of like, ooh, what's going on? And so I don't know if you have anything to say. Otherwise, we move on to Joel being
no, I think
introduced
we should.
again.
I want to talk about that near the end of the episode, definitely,
Okay.
because when they
Yeah. So then we get
brought up
to
later,
Joel working on the breakers in his house, and Dina.
yeah.
We are introduced to
Oh,
Dina.
yeah, and this is what I want to say. This is really interesting because they kind of established that there's a relationship between Joel and Dina, that they're much closer now than they are actually in the
Mm-hmm.
game. Like they mentioned, like, oh, like they even mentioned like watching, like Dina mentions watching the movie later with Joel. Like, I want to do that. They've actually, I don't know, it's not a spoiler, but they released like a still image of episode 2, and there's actually, it shows them out on patrol together, which is something very different. And I think it just kind of alludes to the fact that they're closer. She's asking questions more to Joel, and then we get the little tidbit there that, oh, look at this, Joel's in therapy. That's revealed
Yeah.
because Dina's pretty smart, and she's like, you're talking like you're in therapy. Oh, you're really in therapy, aren't you?
Yeah,
And
I won't lie. This introduction to Dina, I was fine with. It's like I said, when they're later in the shop, when we'll get to, that's kind of when I was kind of losing it. But right here, I was like, oh, like I do like this actress. Like I think she was in Alien Romulus, and she's been in
yeah,
other stuff. But I like her. But I liked this scene because it was also the thing of like, because obviously right now we don't know she's bisexual yet. She's just the girl who works for Joel, but she's asking about Ellie because they're friends, and so it's kind of a good moment of Joel parting his construction or contractor knowledge onto her, also while they're bonding over kind of what's going on with Ellie. She seems pissed off, kind of thing, and I
yeah.
really enjoyed this scene for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, we get like that whole like Joel, like he can't admit, he knows why Ellie's mad at him. He knows, but he can't admit it. He won't
Yeah,
admit it.
well,
Um,
because in the show, people just, I like how they're setting up of she's just a moody teenager. Like I do like
yeah,
that aspect of it, but obviously when we get through the show, we're gonna find out why she's mad at him, because yeah, I don't even want to spoil it, but yeah, we're gonna find out why she is. We do know, so that's obviously gonna be. I'm actually looking forward to those flashback episodes, because I was actually surprised when they did the 5 years later, they kind of skipped over everything that happened in those 5 years, which, so I guess they are going to save them all for flashbacks. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in those 5 years, you get to see like the bond that Ellie makes with Joel through those 5 years. Like this bond's even stronger, and then it kind of just collapses at that one point.
Mm-hmm.
You also see the
Yeah.
bond between Ellie and Tommy in those 5 year gap, which we get a little bit again with that sniping scene. We get that
Yeah.
bonding section. But yeah, so we find out Joel's in therapy. Do you want to jump to? I know the next scene is the sniping scene, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the next scene is the sniping scene. And they kind of just talk about how they're shooting that. Like we already talked about how like it's almost like a game to them. But then after that, we get the whole talk about how Ellie's gonna be put on gate patrol again, and we get that again. It's from Joel making her do the gate patrol, and we see that Joel's
Mm-hmm.
still trying to control her and still trying to save her. He still feels like he's the savior.
And being overprotective. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, but what the thing I liked about this scene also was one of my biggest criticisms of the video game was that from start to credits rolling, she was just this mopey person who just was she was a completely different character than she was in the first game. Like in the first game, she obviously had her very deep, dark moments where she had her moments of clarity and seriousness, but but when there was a lighthearted moment, she would crack jokes. But in this part two, she never said anything like funny. She never cracked a smile or anything. It was Dina who was like the comedic sidekick. And so I really
Hmm.
liked that during the sniping scene, she's doing like the I'm immune, like being the
Yeah.
sarcastic, like little jerk that she was in the first one. And
Yeah.
so I really liked that. Hopefully, like obviously there are moments when they need to be serious, but I do hope that she does have her moments of being that sarcastic girl that
Yeah,
she was in the
being more
first
true to
one.
her character that she was
Yeah,
established in the first. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
like that. I'm immune, and she's like, and then Tommy's like, "You're just like Joel,
yeah.
just like
And then
Joe."
she's
And
like,
then
then
she's
you
like,
know I'm not
"Well,
going to listen or whatever. Yeah,
yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, I know," which is funny. So she does end up convincing him to put her on the recon patrol, which is
hmm
that actually really liked that initial recon patrol scene. But yeah, then we get to Joel in therapy. Um,
yeah. Well, quickly before therapy, he's up in the office talking to oh, what's her
Oh,
face, Tommy's wife.
I almost said Marlene. Yeah, Tommy's wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
like that
and
scene. I liked it because I liked when the kid comes in and he's like, "You shoot monsters," and like kind of doing
yeah.
that thing of like,
It's like, oh.
yeah, like a kid
Yeah.
having to grow up in this, like they have to kind of be lighthearted about like these things are going to tear you apart, but like you have to kind of keep them calm about it. Like it's just they're monsters that we take care of, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and it's very different than the other kid we saw with Sam and oh my gosh, why am I
Oh,
forgetting his name?
I can't remember Sam
You know who
and
I'm talking about though. Sam and
yeah,
why can I remember
the ones they met
Sam
in Kansas City
and
last
yeah, it's
season.
very different than Sam and Tila.
I can't think.
Sam's the younger one. Yeah, he was born in
Yeah,
Sam's the younger one. It's very different than Sam, who's like very much like
he's like
brought up to be
terrified of
like
everything.
terrified of everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because
so
like
it's
before he
very
dies,
different.
he's like, "You think we're any of us is still in there when like we turn and stuff?" Like
Yeah,
he's very scared of it, and I love
and he's
that.
very
That
aware of
episode
what's
was good.
going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's Sam and
yeah.
Henry. Henry's his older brother.
Henry, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I liked
Um.
in this scene also Joel kind of doing the thing of like we're bringing in too many people, like they're making that kind of a plot point of like we're bringing in too many people, we're doing way too much, and then obviously Tommy's wife has kind of the like, well, you were a refugee at one point too, kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that. They're doing kind of like the politics of the town, kind of they're making Jackson a bigger character than it was in the games because
Yeah,
in the
and
game
we
it was just
even
you start in Jackson and leave. So
get that later with the whole council scene, which we'll get into
hmm
later.
yeah,
But I do think them harping on the fact that they're bringing in too many people and that we need to bring in the right people. I think that might be alluding to something that might be a little different than what they do in the game, especially with the end scene where we see, um, we'll get to the end scene where we see Abby and her crew ride up and they see Jackson. I could see
yeah.
something crazy happening where maybe that
Oh, I could see what you're saying.
where
Yeah,
they come in and they kind of infiltrate the town and kind
they
of
kind of
pretend to
Trojan
be
horse
like,
it a little bit.
yep. I could definitely see
Yeah.
that, which would be a big difference. But I think they led and they stayed on that for so long that they couldn't have just done that just to do. It has to be some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because I mean, obviously in the first season they changed a lot of big points in the game. Obviously, the biggest
Mhm.
one being what's his face in his town. They kill him before Joel
Bill,
gets to him in
yeah,
the show.
Bill's town,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, Joel goes to therapy in the next scene, which cat with Catherine O'Hara, who I love, Moira shit. Is what I think
Yeah,
her
I
name is.
thought
It's
this
just
was really interesting because they're Joel finally admits he's like, no, I saved her. That's what's wrong. I saved her, but he's like he can't admit what he means by that. And did you
yeah.
find it interesting when she's like, "It's so hard. I can't forgive you. You killed my husband. You shot him, and I know why you did it." I think she's. Do you think she's alluding to the fact that he was like turning? He got bit.
I think so because I think in the game he just dies of a stroke or something, right? Like he just passes away on its own. Because I remember when you're Dina and Ellie going on patrol, you go to his place and you find his weed stash or whatever.
Yeah,
So I think that I feel like that's what it is. I think they are alluding to like she's like I know why you had to shoot him, but like I still hate you for it. And I thought that was because I mean, obviously Eugene's a character you never. I mean, you don't see him in this either, but you don't see him in the game, and so he's just kind of like he's basically like a piece of paper that you find when you find collectibles. That's basically as deep as he
yeah,
is in the game. So I really like that they kind of fleshed that out of like where she's just admitting like I hate you for what you did. Like you took my husband from me, and that was so good. I'd never seen a Catherine O'Hara in a serious role like this, so I thought that was awesome.
yeah. I think it's really reminiscent of just going back to the first game that Joel knows what he needs to do, and he's done things that aren't the best, and he's done things
Hmm.
that he's not afraid to do what's right. Again, going back to a right to him, like killing people for what he
Yeah.
thinks is necessary. And yeah,
Hmm.
it is. You could definitely sympathize there with both of them.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought I was wrong, obviously, but I thought what was going to happen was because I like that she sees through him and she's like, "I know you're lying to me. Why? Like, why are you lying to me?" Kind
Yeah,
of thing. And so I really thought that he was gonna break down and do because I was surprised they skipped over the opening of the game, which where he's telling Tommy what happened. So I thought that was going to be this scene that he's going to tell it to a therapist instead of Tommy. So I do wonder if we are going to get that scene with Tommy eventually, but I do love that he's still lying to himself like obviously I think he's right. I've always said he was right, but like I think in his head he's still battling like I know I'm right, but I can't admit this to everyone because I don't think everyone else will see it my way, kind of thing.
yeah, because it's definitely one of those things. It depends on how you feel morally and how you feel.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then so moving on, we get to this is the scene. Is this the scene where Ellie and the guitar next?
Ellie, she's in there cleaning her gun or whatever, and
Yeah,
Dina
and then
comes
Joel
to
comes in.
grab her to go
Oh,
on the.
oh yeah, Dina comes in to grab her. And they're
Yeah,
talking
she puts on her
about
coat, and Ellie's like, "Oh, I'm feeling all tingly right now," kind of thing.
yeah. You definitely can see the somewhat. Ellie has that crush or that relationship. They also talk about how Dina's. They talk about the New Year's Eve party, and Dina's like, "Oh, me and Jesse broke up." Oh,
Yeah, well, that's
again?
that's while they're out on patrol, but yeah, she does tell her
Yeah,
that her
my
and
bad.
Jesse have split up, and she says like for now or whatever, but
Yeah,
yeah. And then they go out and meet Jesse at the gate, and he's trying to tell him what to do. And this is kind of when I started being like, oh god, I don't like Dina. Is when she's being all sarcastic to him while he's trying to tell her like, all right, here's what we got to do. And Ellie and Dina are basically being the disruptive kids in class who just won't take it seriously.
yep. I know all too well. Um, yeah, and it's funny because they do harp on. They mention like you need to report to your squad leader, and that's like the other like lesbian in the group,
Yeah,
and it's like Ellie's like ex girlfriend, so
yeah, the
apparently.
one who did the tattoo. Which that's
Yeah,
another character who in the game is not ever shown. It's just said
no,
like
not
your
ever
ex
shown. Yep.
girlfriend did your tattoo kind of thing. That's really all it
Yeah.
is.
So she's
So
the
it is.
squad
It was
leader.
interesting that we saw her, but it's funny because they never really had that dynamic of being like exes. She just kind of seemed like the person who was in charge and angry that they weren't paying attention, less than
Yeah.
being a angry ex kind of
And
thing.
they immediately like don't listen to whatever she does. Like they're way further back than them, and then the second they see like any form of infection, it's like they run up and they're like, "Oh, we're going out. We gotta go," and they just go off without them. Nope, this is part of recon when they're not supposed to. They're supposed to be going back.
Yeah,
They
like
see like the dead bear with all the blood around
all the
it.
clickers around it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing that was also a little annoying to me was like I feel like plot wise you should have them kind of listen for a little bit to show like no, we do want to be out here like doing what we're doing, but then like maybe once they find the bear, they go do it. But yeah, it's like immediate that they're like, we're not paying, we're not gonna listen. It's like, well, now you're definitely gonna lose your like your like ability to go on recon if you're just
Yeah.
instantly just been like, nah, we're not gonna listen to you. Like
Yeah.
I feel like
I
that's a
found that a little
horrible
odd.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go up ahead, and we get into this is a scene from this is very similar to that scene from the game where you're basically it's kind of like teaching you like the new controls and teaching you about the new like version of the infected. What do they call it? I forget what it's called. Um,
Tutorial?
no. I'm talking about the new type of infected.
Oh, the stalker?
Um, yeah, the stalker because they like lure. They try to lure Ellie, and we actually get that crazy fear we see in Ellie's eyes when it comes at her.
Yeah, but we get to the clicker scene, which I wasn't huge on because again, they were just like, there's two clickers near them, and they're acting like it's nothing when those things are insanely dangerous. But yeah, we get down to that shop, and this is like the scene where I was like visibly excited. I was watching my girlfriend, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh my god, it's the stalkers! They're doing it!" And like, so
Yeah.
that was so cool. Like, and her walking through, like trying to see it, and you just see it in the background, slinking from aisle to aisle. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh man, this is awesome." I'm so happy they brought this. I did not think actually that they'd bring the stalkers in. I thought maybe because they're smart, so I thought like, maybe they'll just skip that one. So which makes me think that they are going to do one that's later on in the game.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, you see that fear in Ellie when she says like "come run at me," and then the thing just walks away. She has no idea what
Mm-hmm.
she's in for, and we get that more of that childlike Ellie we got when she first appeared in season one when they first encounter some infected. And then the big change here, she gets bit.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. Yeah. I was a little surprised. Well, because I was a little surprised by that because they literally start the episode with her fighting off a man twice her size, and so I really thought that some of that would like come into play here. But instead, I don't know if maybe it is like a character growth thing where in the moment she froze and failed at it. I don't know if that's going to be something that plays out later or anything, but yeah, she just basically screws up immediately, and she struggles to get her gun out and gets it far enough to where the thing bites her right in the abdomen. So it was I loved the moment just because again I love that they're bringing the stalkers into the game. But yeah, I wonder if it is like actually Ellie, you aren't good enough to be doing this, or if it is just kind of a one-off thing that they're gonna
Yeah,
move on from.
no, definitely, and it's funny because she has to hide the fact that she was bit because the only
Mm-hmm.
people who know she's immune are Joel and Tommy,
Yeah,
which is which is great.
and was
Yeah,
this
and then
Tommy's
we
wife? No, I can't remember.
no, I don't think she knows. No, I don't think she knows. I think it's just Tommy and Joel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, then they go to the council after they
Yeah,
find.
I
Yeah.
love this council scene. I really liked it
Mhm.
because I think it talks about expanding Jackson. We get like it is so reminiscent of so many like pieces of fiction that revolve around society like the world has fallen, society has fallen, and then like they make their own little like village, their own society, and there's always like some type of council and there's people in charge. It's never like one like a lot of fiction like this, when they have societies where one person's in charge, it always fails. The ones that always succeed are the communal ones in this. And I think it's interesting, all the different people on there and how they're talking, and how Tommy's wife immediately knows that Dean is lying.
Mhm.
And she knows that Ellie's telling the truth. Like she can read them. She's a really good read of character.
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed. I mean, I guess it was just foreshadowing of that Dina likes Ellie or of lying for her, but uh Yeah, I was also kind of laughing because it reminded me of like those stories where it's like people get, especially in like a post-apocalypse, they get too comfortable and they act like a city council thing is like this important thing. It's like, no, there's way more important things than this
Yeah.
crap you guys are talking about, kind of thing. So I was thinking about that with it, but no, yeah, it was definitely a really good scene. And again, it was a moment to show that Ellie is still sarcastic. She's not the mopey part two Ellie yet.
Mm.
Hopefully she keeps a little bit of levity, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So then next up's the guitar scene when she's in her house, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
playing guitar.
journaling about barbecue or whatever in her
Oh, the
journal.
no, the barbecue, which
Barbecue,
again that
that's what
goes
it is.
yeah, that goes back to the puns, and then she writes something else. Just like don't
Don't fuck it up or something
um
like that.
yeah, don't screw. And I think she's obviously referring to Dina. I think.
Yeah, yeah. She's because
Um,
she doesn't want to screw it up with Dina. And I don't know. I don't know if that's like don't screw up another relationship or don't tell her you have a crush
don't
on
screw up
her
her
to
friend.
ruin a
Don't screw
friendship.
up her friendship. Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get the first interaction between Joel and Ellie of the episode, and it goes just as what we've probably expected, where Ellie's still pretty pissed off at Joel. Obviously, as an audience, you don't know if you've never played the game, but Joel's doing everything in his power to try to like get on Ellie's good
To,
side. Hey, I'm gonna repair your
yeah, to
guitar. I'll
mend
bring
it.
it back to you. Yeah, try to
Yeah.
mend it. When in reality, it's really hard to mend something that like that.
Yeah.
You can't just
Yeah.
buy
So
back someone.
yeah, I it's kind of the you have the awkward pause and he notices the guitar, so it's like, oh, that's something that I can say to keep this
Yeah,
conversation going, kind of thing. And yeah,
exactly. He
he
didn't know what to
knows.
say, so he had to go
Yeah,
back to
well,
something
because it's like
he knows.
he said earlier when he was talking to Dina, he's like, I never had a teenager this age, so I'm learning kind of as we go, also. So because obviously Sarah passed away when she was 15, I think.
14 or 15 around there, yeah.
14 or 15, yeah. So now that he is an 18 or 19-year-old, whatever she is, I think 19. So he has no idea how to tread these waters, and so he's just being the awkward, like, I don't know what to do, but I know how to fix this guitar, so I'll do that for you, I guess. But then
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
we
they go to
move on
the
to the dance.
the New Year's Eve party. And Dina's drunk and high. She's dancing around, and you get that little interaction between Jesse and Ellie, and I think you can definitely tell that Jesse still is in love with Dina. It's so
Hmm.
obvious, and
Yeah, I
Ellie makes
wonder.
little. Yep, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, I wonder if they're gonna change that because in the game he's just immediately over it. He's like, I don't give a shit. But I wonder if in this he is gonna have a little bit of jealousy about it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think there was like subtle remarks of like, yeah, he's over it, but then there was also like subtle remarks in the game of him kind of still being into Dina, but it wasn't nearly as upfront as it was here in this first episode. You can see the disappointment on his face. Like she's just
Yeah,
dancing around with everyone else. And then we get the infamous where Dina goes up to Ellie, grabs her, they start dancing together, and this scene is pretty 1-to-1 to the game. This part
hmm,
where she's like,
yeah, like
"Oh,
rubbing her sweat on her and stuff.
yeah, every guy in here is staring at me or is jealous of you." And she's like, "Jealous of what?" And she's like, well, let's make him let's give him something to be jealous of or something. And they
Yeah,
kiss. You get that scene, and then you get the old redneck.
yeah, the stereotypical, like, you're doing this in a church, yeah. Calls them the dykes and whatnot. And
Yeah,
I can't remember in the game. I did
he
Joel
calls
push
him
him in the
something. He
game
doesn't
too?
call him that. Yeah, Joel pushes him in the game, but this was like extremely aggressive. It was not like this in the game. Like he came out and he like tackled him.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember how it went in the game exactly. I quit the game pretty quick, but yeah, I did like though that then Ellie does the thing of like, you don't need to stand up for me kind of thing, like I can take
Yeah.
care of myself, leave me alone kind of
What the
thing.
heck? She was like, "What the heck's wrong with you?"
Yeah, yeah, even though
Yeah.
obviously Joel is in the right by defending her for that in that moment, but obviously she's so mad at him that she can't let
Yeah.
him do it. Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Like when you're mad at someone and they actually do something to like help you, you're like, "Ah, I can't give them credit."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um.
And then
Yeah,
we
and you can
see
see like
Oh,
Go
sorry.
on.
Go. I was
No,
just
go
gonna say,
on.
then we see Catherine O'Hara off to the edge watching it. Like, I'm wondering what she's thinking in that moment because she's kind of looking like,
Yeah, she's
interesting.
definitely thinking because she knows, like she said, Joel saved Ellie, but she's like, there's got to be something more, a lot more to this. Um, yeah, and then we get the scene with Joel or an Ellie and Joel, where Ellie is walking back to the house, and Joel's sitting there playing his guitar, which is interesting
Okay.
because in the game, she actually goes and talks to him, and this is like the final scene of
I
the
was gonna,
game.
s- I was gonna say, I thought she
Yeah.
did in the game.
Yep. This time she walks away. It was that the final scene. This was a flashback in the actual game, though. It was the final scene of the game, like right near the end,
Okay.
where she talks to him.
Yeah.
But this time she walks away, and as she walking away, we see a little zoom in on the. We get like the
Someone
fire,
throws down a sparkler.
a sparkler, and then it zooms in, and you see bum bum bum, little cordyceps coming through.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, yeah, what's that gonna? I wonder if it's gonna lead to someone inside getting infected, or is it gonna be like how in the first season, if you step on the cordyceps, it sends like through the roots,
Yeah.
it sends a signal to let. Because in the trailer, it did show like them at the wall shooting things. So I wonder if it is just gonna have all of them charging at Jackson. They're gonna have to defend it.
I have a feeling that this will be used to bring Abby in to Jackson, where these the whole group of the infected are running at the wall and they're trying to defend it. They can't, and then Abby and her crew come and they help out and destroy them from the other side on the outside of Jackson. They help take them down, and then they're like, "Oh, we're so grateful for you. Oh, why don't you guys come in?" Blah blah blah. And they kind of like hit it off. And I could see Joel being like, "We shouldn't be doing this. There's something wrong here."
Yeah,
And then maybe Abby wins his favor, and then he's
yeah,
like,
it
"Okay,
could be because I know in the trailer for this season they do show the scene where Abby is stuck under the fence at the area where she meets Joel and Tommy. So I'm wondering if you're right, like if they're gonna help with it and then they get let in, and then who knows, maybe they go out on a recon with them, and then that happens
exactly." That's
because
what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, because they have changed because like the Dina and Ellie stuff all happen while they're on a recon, whereas in the game it's because Tommy and Joel are still out, and so they go to look for them, and so I wonder,
Exactly.
yeah, so since they're changing kind of the timeline in this, I wonder if that's what they'll do, where yeah they'll take them
Which I
in
could
and
totally see that, and
be
I
in their
think that
favor.
would help establish the audience to be more, again, more sympathetic for Abby. You might get to know her a little bit more. You might even I could even see some
Mhm.
flashbacks with Abby back to her childhood.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably definitely do that zebra scene from the game,
Oh
but
yeah, definitely. I'd be
yeah,
shocked if they didn't.
yeah. So then, yeah, after that, then it's just the you see the White Walkers show up and say, "Hey, there's Winterfell," and then credits roll. But yeah, Abby and crew they pull up on a mountain. They see the lights of Jackson off in the distance, and so you know they are closing in, and they want Joel. And then we
Yeah.
get the credits.
Dun, dun,
I did
dun.
not. Did you watch the after credits like little mini documentary thing? I didn't watch
I
it.
did not. Did you?
No, I need to.
No.
I might go watch that in a bit, but yeah, I like watching the little post credits. Like, oh, here's what happened in this episode. So I'll have to see. So if anyone who's listening knows what's going on, let us know. And obviously, everyone let us know how you felt about this episode. Did you think it was better than the game? Think it was worse than the game? Did you even like the game? What are your thoughts with this?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Overall, like I said, I thought it was a good episode.
yeah, I really did think it was a good setup, and the way all the stuff with Ellie and Joel and stuff in the first game, or in the second game, I actually liked all of it. Like, other than Dina, I don't like Dina, but hopefully her character's a little better throughout the show. But I liked. That's the thing. I liked the game for basically the first 10 hours, and then it just fell apart for me. But I think I think if they do a good job of making us actually like Abby more than because in the game you kind of understand why she is who she is, whereas I hope instead of telling us like, here's why you should be happy, I hope they show us, or why you should be on our side. I hope they show us why we should be on our side, not just tell her like Joel's bad, so you have to be on her side. So I really hope they do a
Yeah.
better job with that in this.
Which again, I think if we go on what I think might happen, I think we could definitely see that if they somehow come in and infiltrate, and we might see like a more sympathetic side to her.
Yeah, because it is a really good concept of like, which person do you support, because they're both technically kind of in the right, they're both technically wrong. Like, it's really just kind of like who's more or who's less wrong. Who are you going to support? Who's less
The
wrong than the
lesser of
other
two
one?
evils.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very curious to see how this all plays out with Abby, because that's going to be the biggest challenge of making me give a shit about Abby. But yeah, like you said, I'm very happy with this. The changes they made, I thought most of them were for the better. Like I said, I kind of wish they did the Tommy and like, because I thought that was such a great opening to the game where Joel's just sitting there
Tommy and
cleaning
Joel are
the
yeah.
guitar and talking to Tommy about what happened. And so I kind of hope they do still have that moment in this show, but obviously time will tell. They have changed up the pacing, so hopefully, obviously we'll get more of those in between the 5 years to see what happened with Joel. And not to spoil anything, but the museum scene, it's fantastic. I cannot wait for that episode. Um, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of this season. I hope it's awesome.
I think we're getting a lot of those flashbacks in like the openings, like where it opens up the episode. I think we'll get a lot of it there.
Oh yeah, do a cold open of kind of Joel and
Yep.
of the time between. Yeah, that would actually be pretty
Yeah, because
cool.
they did do a lot of cold opens in season one, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I wish they had done more of those, like old like day one, like the one where like they asked the lady like, "What do you need to do?" and she's like, "You need
Oh,
to
that's episode
bomb
two.
this."
Yeah, it's episode
Yeah,
two.
and then in the first one
Yeah,
where they're on the talk show from like the
bomb,
'60s or '70s, and
bomb.
yeah, bomb.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and yeah, the cold open in the first one with the guy from the Mummy talking about like, well, what happens if the planet gets warmer, and he just goes, "We
Oh,
lose,"
we
and
lose.
like. Yeah, I'm like, oh man, those openings were so good. I want more of
Yeah.
that, but I don't. Obviously, we're not going to get that in the second season. But yeah, I really liked this, and I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the season. It definitely, I, it's like I was saying to people, I'm like, I hope it makes me enjoy the game a little more than, because obviously the music and the settings and the set pieces and everything, they were awesome in the second game. It's just the pacing and a bit of the plot is the only reason why I don't like. It's funny when I played the game, when I finished, I was like, it was okay. It was like a 6 out of 10, and just the overpraise for it's just made me salty with over time. So I just want this show to win me back over, because Last of Us, the first game and season, were so good that I just hope this show does not crumble like how my opinion of this game series crumbled.
Well, who knows? Maybe maybe you'll love game three as well. So it'll be like 1 and 3 you'll love, and then just the middle one. Yeah, you don't really like the middle of the sandwich, you like the bread.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a carbs guy, as you can tell. But yeah, I don't know if I don't have really anything else to say about this.
No, that's it. I think
Yeah,
moving forward, you can expect these episodes to be pretty much around 43, 44 minutes, 45 minutes, because we're not
yeah.
just gonna we're not gonna break down every single little Easter egg. We're not gonna go frame by frame here. We're just
Oh,
gonna really talk about the plot. Go on.
though one Easter egg I do want to point out was I'm pretty sure the guitarist for the band at the barn dance was Gustavo Santinelli. I don't know, say his name.
Oh,
The
the guy was it
composer.
really
Yeah, I'm pretty
interesting?
sure that was him. I could look it up really quick, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that was him, because I looked at it. I was like, that guy looks so familiar. And where are we at? No, that's not it. Oh my gosh, the stupid thing ain't shuffling right. But yeah, I saw it and I was just like, because he has like a big long white beard in real life, and he was holding like a very Mexican looking like classical guitar. So I was like, I'm pretty sure that is him. But that is the one thing I did love about the first season, is that they gave everyone a role who was in the game. Like
Hmm.
they all played someone else, except
Yep.
for obviously um what was her face? The Firefly lady. She played herself.
Oh,
Um,
Marlene.
Marlene. Yeah. So
Yeah.
other than Marlene, it was the same, and so or it was different. So yeah, I really Really enjoyed this, and it was nice seeing if that is Gustavo. I'm pretty sure it is, but I could be wrong, obviously. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that was our recap of episode 1 of The Last of Us season 2. We'll be back next week for episode 2. Again, leave us your comments, leave us your thoughts. Tell us what you kind of want to see from us, what we want to do with these episodes. We're really open to suggestions. But yeah, we're enjoying the show. Tell us what you thought, and thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, guys. The infected are out there. We lose. Bum.